If you're wondering what freight brokers do, then this video is for you. Just to give you a little background, in 2019, 2.7 billion tons of freight were moved by freight brokers. That's just in the US. This number is expected to climb because more freight is moved by freight brokers every year in the United States. So what exactly do freight brokers do? They provide a service that links shippers, companies moving anything from couches to computers, to a network of carriers, usually trucking companies. Brokers aren't shippers or carriers. In fact, they don't own any trucks. They're just the middle person who helps shippers and carriers move loads. Freight brokers have other names too, so don't let that confuse you. They're also called truck brokers, transportation intermediaries, and property brokers. If the freight broker concept is confusing to you, think of them like stock brokers. Stock brokers are not the companies selling stock like Apple, nor are the people buying the stock like you and me. Stockbrokers just act like middle people who help companies like Apple sell their stock to investors, for a fee of course. Stockbrokers must be licensed and follow a lot of rules to protect consumers. The same is true of freight brokers. The bottom line is freight brokers' main goal is to make sure the cargo arrives safely, undamaged, and on time. Brokers are important. They provide value to both shippers and carriers. So how do freight brokers earn money? They earn money by charging shippers a little bit more for the load than they pay the carriers. Simple, right? This is how almost all businesses make money. They don't charge a lot. In fact, the average markup is just 10 to 15% per load. In fact, when you factor in all the costs associated with moving a load, the average load just makes $75 for the broker. Let's go over the numbers. So how much profit does a freight broker earn? You probably heard the broker say, "That's all I have in the load." So what exactly does that mean? Here's an example from the DAT of the actual profit made on a load. As you can see, the shipper paid $1,500 to get this load moved. The broker paid the carrier $1,260 for the load. The broker net revenue was $240. So you can see, of this $240, $96 went to labor expenses, which included sales, accountants, and people booking the load. The non-labor expenses were $60. This would include computers, tables, chairs, electricity, internet, the office. $7 went to taxes and depreciation. So after taxes and depreciation, the net operating profit is only $77 or 5%. When the broker says that's all I have in the load, then the profit is either at zero or some low threshold that has been set by the company. So you may ask, doesn't the broker cut result in a higher cost to the shipper? And the answer is not necessarily. Freight brokers build strong relationships with carriers, giving them negotiation and buying power. Brokers work in a volume that small shippers can't reach. Word of warning, although most brokers are good, there are a few bad apples out there, so it's very important to check their reputation before doing business with them. You might still wonder, why don't shippers and carriers work together and cut out the middle person? Sometimes they do, especially in predictable, dedicated lanes where prices can be contracted. But the freight market is very unpredictable, giving brokers value to their customers in a number of ways. So let's get into some of the ways freight brokers provide value to their customers. As I said before, brokers have large carrier networks. They can provide alternative carriers to shippers who don't have the time or resources to find them on their own. Freight brokers benefit carriers by giving them business when they have unused capacity. Unused capacity is when carriers have trucks and drivers with no loads. Freight brokers can help carriers fill these unused trucks, and an idle truck doesn't earn any money. Servicing a load takes a lot of patience and consistent follow-up. Truck transportation is very unpredictable. Lots of things can go wrong while this truck is driving across the country. There can be weather issues, traffic issues, driver hours of service, all kinds of things. You have to remember that these trucks are going across the country. They're driving in different states and climates. They're driving in mountains and in deserts. Lots of things can go wrong. Shippers don't like to deal with these issues because, frankly, it's not their specialty. A shipper's specialty is to make or buy their product and sell it to someone else. Think about it. It's cheaper for the shipper to use a broker than to try to train and hire and manage the staff necessary to manage the freight shipments. In tight markets or during demand surges, it becomes very difficult for shippers to find trucks. Freight brokers are licensed professionals who must be certified, and they go through a lot of training. Think about it. How do you move hazardous materials, livestock, alcohol? All these things require knowledge that the freight broker must have. To summarize, freight brokers play an important role in the logistics marketplace. And as more people shop from home and get packages delivered rather than going to retail stores, this is causing shifts in how things are moved and disrupting supply chains. And as a result, freight markets are becoming more volatile. And whether you like it or not, freight brokers will continue to play a vital role in how things are moved. If you have a question, drop a comment. If you like this video, give us a like. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe for more content.